Hello friends, welcome to lecture number 34. In this lecture, we will study about measuring service quality and establishing a feedback system. There is a very famous saying, as per which you can't manage what you can't measure. It clearly speaks about the importance of measuring the quality or quantity of any work. Peter and Waterman in 1982 established that importance of listening to customers, and it has become a custom in the industry since then to look for ways to establish the quality of the service delivered. Businesses having low service quality, they lose approximately 2% of their customer base every year. It is a very high number, okay? On the other hand, businesses with a high quality service delivery get up to 12% return or profit every year on their sale, okay? And their market share also increases by 6% per annum. They also charge significantly higher prices. So they can make, better money. They can make up to 12% return on sale. They command higher prices also, and they get 6% per year market share gain, which is a very good number. Now, service quality means differently for different people. For families with kids, good security and a safe room with electric plugs at a height, presence of a splash pool with more of towels, healthy food, and this is what is the meaning of our service quality. But when we talk about older customers, easy to operate lift, large text size in menu card, frequently stopping coaches means not the long distance coaches, etc. These are the meaning of good service quality. But when we talk about honeymoon couples, for them a good view from their window, these all are basis for finding out whether it is a good quality of service or not. Now you must be thinking, we have already studied about couple of the parameters on the basis of which customers decide whether the service quality is good or not. But no, it's not exhaustive. If we talk about our business travelers, none of these parameters which I have just now discussed with you make any sense to them. Okay, they neither want a view, they neither want a larger text size, they neither want a splash pool or more of towels. They don't have time for all these things. Okay, so what a businessman wants, he will want that prompt service should be delivered. Okay, that's a prompt service and fast communication network. So good service means very different for different segments of the customers. Travel management companies need to provide all of them in order to establish a good customer base, because just by catering to either honeymoon or elderly or with kids or a business traveler, it will not be sustainable for a longer period of time. Every company wants a backup by targeting more than one segment. So then what makes a good service? We have already discussed 5 important elements of good service. That list was not exhaustive. If you remember, that list was including reliability, tangibles, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. Now there are more elements which can define a good quality of a service. Martin in 1986, he gave 2 more factors. He said that procedure and conviviality are also important. Okay, so Martin in 1986 says that these 2 are also important. Now what is the meaning of procedure here? Procedure here includes the flow of service, timing of service, and customer feedback. Okay, so altogether the system which has been established to deliver the service comes under procedure. Now next is conviviality. What is the meaning of conviviality? It means how well an employee gets connected to the customer. So that connection which an employee establishes with customer and then all possible customers, that comes under conviviality. So this is a part of employee's personality, while procedure is a part of company's personality. Okay, now how well an employee gets connected to customers includes attitudes, body language, attentiveness, suggestive selling, and problem solvings. Now there are lots of other variables too. So all in all, it is a complicated process to measure good quality and what makes a service a good quality, because there are a number of parameters which can be included in that. A customer when enters into a travel management company, that customer can either be turned into a loyal customer or into a drifter. Now this totally depends on the quality of service being provided to him. Okay, so it is very much clear that operations and marketing go hand in hand. These are not two separate things. These are like two faces of a coin. They work together. Now every employee becomes a salesperson or a goodwill manager. Okay, and as well as that employee becomes a factory for production of services too. Now we will study about measuring service quality and establishing a feedback system. First line managers, with even realizing, they don't even, this will not be with even realizing, this will be without even realizing. Without even realizing, keep collecting feedback. And this happens when actually they keep on recording and monitoring the numbers in terms of queries, numbers in terms of conversion, numbers in terms of cancellation, numbers in terms of whether expensive tours are being on sale nowadays more, or those are which are domestic or outbound or inbound. These all are different kind of numbers, even profit percentage, uh, cost which they incur for selling a product. So there are a number of parameters which managers keep on recording as a routine thing, and all these parameters actually go into feedback. Now next is sales information. How many queries are coming, whether the sale is coming through direct sale or through some GDS, or maybe the website, or maybe other sales outlet or franchise, or maybe just any other travel agent. So that's how they keep on collecting the information. Then they also get to know what about the cost which they are incurring in producing that sale, cost which they are incurring in promotion of their products. So these all are numbers. They also keep visiting different offices area during peak seasons. Okay, visiting. So they keep visiting different offices area during peak times, so that they have a good idea about what is going on in their office itself. They do not just sit in their chamber and then continue with their work. No, they keep on visiting. They go to sales counter, they go to operations office, they go to services office. They also go to even kitchen to find out whether the kitchen has been serving their customers and walk-ins properly or not. And this is also a way for them to communicate with people, give them also a little break from their routine work, keep them motivated, and these all kind of things. Now managers also listen to the comments of the customer while they are on this roam around their office. They keep on listening to the comments which their customers are making during the process. It's just that they overheard all these comments, and this gives them a very good idea about the satisfaction level of these customers. What kind of questions are being asked, are they discussing about some kind of problems, are they comfortable with the procedures and all those things. They also talk to the employees, so that they get a good idea about if their employees are in trouble, if the employees need a break or any such thing. Okay, they also read about the complaints suggestions in the suggestion box. They open the suggestion box to read the complaints. They open the suggestion box, even if there is no complaint, what are the suggestions which are being provided by these people who have visited your office. By visiting the competitors, why this T has been deleted. Okay. By visiting the competitors, they get to know about what has been happening in their competitors' office, how many inquiries are they getting, what is the crowd in their offices, what kind of procedures are being going on, all those things. They also join seminars and meetings especially organized by different lobbies like ITA, TAI, PITA, all those, so that they get a good idea about what has been happening in the market, and they get a feedback about, what has been happening till now, what kind of season was there the last season for them, what kind of a season are actually these their peer group are expecting in future, all those things. And they also read trade magazine, because it's not just about travel trade, it's about total business. Reason being that none of the business work in isolation. Now every business has been dependent on each other, so to get an idea about that too. Now, why customer feedback is so important? Why managers need to collect it? So that the final decision makers be removed from the side of end user. End user is a customer. He's sitting in the office in front of a salesperson or maybe an operations person. But when we talk about all these decision makers, they are sitting maybe in regional offices or in corporate offices or headquarters somewhere else. So you think it is possible for them to get access to the information, first-hand information which is coming from these customers? No, that is practically not possible. Okay, and that is not required also, because this is not their job. So how to transpire this information which these managers have been collecting? This is this can be done through the feedback system, because here the customer writes whatever he has felt during the tour, during the sale, during the operations, after coming back, whatever kind of good, bad suggestion, whatever it might have been the best tour of his tourist life, but still the tourist might be having some kind of suggestions. So all those things come under feedback. Okay. Now, personalized and direct feedback is not possible in case of chain of outlets. There is just one sales office, two sales office, it's fine. The manager can collect the information, but what about a chain of offices? Let's say there are 500, 400, 700. You think it's possible for the manager to go to each and every office and collect the information? Then what is the way out? And it is important to get this feedback, to get to know how the customers have felt during this entire process, right from entering into the office to the coming back from a tour. This is only possible by collecting the feedback. Now, the impact of management decisions is on thousands of the outlets. So in that condition, doing this hidden trial kind of a thing can be very expensive, because it's not going to impact just one or two outlets. It's going to impact n number of outlets with n number of customers, or maybe worldwide, at a worldwide level, So that is why it is very important to understand whatever has been happening and what is the impact of that thing, and what is the general thought of people, what your prospective customer have been thinking about it. Let me tell you one more thing. Mostly we are talking about customer and tourist. Even those prospects who have entered into your office and who have come with a query and have not done purchase with you, their feedback is also very important, because till the time you do not come to know about the what made these people to drift away from your product, you will never be able to know where you have to hit the nail. Okay, so there are innumerable methods which are used by marketers to collect the feedback, and some of these methods we are going to study from the next slide onwards. Now, out of few of the methods which are being used, methods are service audit, shoppers studies, critical incident, comment cards, complaint logs and special request logs, focus group, customer value workshop and survey. So we will start studying all of them one by one. In 1986, Martin explained service audit as the method used by managers by walking around. This is known as management by walking around, or MBWA. Management by walking around. Okay. Now, management uses this method to carefully scrutinize each service step and to know how has the system been functioning. So it gives a sense of direction as well as helps in identifying the areas where improvement is required. So it gives a direction in which the functioning has been going on in the current scenario and what are the improvements which are required. Both these things. Those service audits, through service audits, the management also becomes aware that to what extent the problem in service delivery are system-centric or employee-centric or related to the expectations of individual. Like if any customer who has given some kind of complaint, then management needs to find out, is that a system-related complaint? Is it, employee-related problem? Or is it, that individual related problem, that particular tourist himself? So this idea comes when actually, a service audit has been done and manager or, management by walking around MBWA. So then that condition, managers, when they walk around, they get to know whether that's the only person who has, discussed about that problem, or there are more customers who are facing the same problem. What is the say of other customers about, that particular problem, or is that actually existing or not? Okay. Now, next is shoppers studies. Shoppers study is the same thing. If you remember, I told you about mystery shoppers. So shoppers study is actually with the help of mystery shoppers. Now mystery shoppers are actually field workers, okay? And these field workers have been appointed by the company to pose like a real life tourist. They visit the office, they follow the entire process of making the payment, collecting information, then getting their visa and other services confirmed, then going on the tour, coming back, feedback. And throughout this entire process, none of the employee of the company actually comes to know whether that shopper is actually a real life customer, a genuine customer, or a mystery shopper. So these mystery shoppers are generally the employee or people from third party so that the employees of the company do not come to know about that. Okay. Now they have been provided with a list of predefined steps and criteria on the basis of which they need to collect the information. Now they make their mental notes because they cannot keep on writing throughout. So when they visit the office, when they collect the information, whatever they feel like, delayed response, on time response, response was there but the information was provided late, something which was not informed at all, or maybe the employees in the wake of, a desperation to purchase or to sell the product, they have not provided the, lacuna or maybe the cancellation policy and other details. So these all things are being mentally collected by these mystery shoppers, and then these mystery shoppers make written notes out of them. Okay. Then it was, first time used around 50 years back. Who used it and when used it is something which is not clear, but this system has been, around half of the century back. Now, this is best when actually the outside firm is being hired to perform this task, because this mystery, maintaining the mystery or the anonymity of this buyer is very important. Okay. Now, next is critical incident. Okay. So, now the next is critical incident. This method is used to identify critical requirements and has been developed to study satisfactory and unsatisfactory service quality. So they divide the services into satisfactory and unsatisfactory. Okay. This is done by interviewing customers and staff. So for satisfactory as well as for dissatisfactory, both of them, they will interview the real life customer as well as the employee or the staff members. A large number of both are interviews and they are asked to discuss the service incidents. So first of all, the sample size will be large. Okay. And then after that, they are not going to discuss their, general how the business has been doing or something like that. They will simply talk about critical incidents. Critical incidents. Okay. Now, these incidents are then compiled, means they will be compiled all together, analyzed and prioritized to identify the critical incidents. These incidents are then tracked back to their origins and the action is then taken on the most significant dissatisfier or satisfier. So after collecting all these incidents, make a list of them, and they after that they divide them on the basis of criticality, and then they make a list most critical to be the at the top one, and then they go back to when that incident has happened, with whom actually that has happened, and then they go back to that time, and then they try to, if it is a satisfactory one, it's fine, they collect information, what was that satisfactory, what did they like in that, and if there is something which they did not like, then what was that which has happened, which has made the customer dissatisfied, and then how to change the satisfaction level or how to do the corrective measure. So this is about critical incidents. Now, by using critical incident methods, airlines come to know that the most important dissatisfier is change in the flight schedule and why this change has occurred. So customer do not just want to know about the change, they also want to know why that change has happened. That why is also very important for them. Okay. They also further want to know for how long and what the airline will do about connecting flights, because they might not be going to that place where their flight is landing, they might be taking their connecting flight. So you see, even on-air turbulence is better than changed takeoff time. Airline, on-air turbulence is something which everybody is, scared about. But still, what customers are bothered about, these flyers are bothered about, change in the time. So that's how actually, airlines come to know what is the most critical aspect, and it was only done through critical incident method only. Now, something which is very unexpected by most of us is that we come to know through the critical incident method, and which, if implemented and amended, policies and procedures will ensure that customers are happier with the services delivered. So if we follow this method, we get to know what is the most critical as per the perception of tourist, what is the most critical as per the perception of the employee. So, and it may be something which is beyond what people generally say common sense or common knowledge. Okay. So that is how critical incident method is a very important method. Now we will study about comment cards. Comment cards method is very widely used in all the industries. And still the use of these cards have two major problems. Number one problem is that most of the customers don't fill them, okay, and those customers who fill them are either those customers who are very happy or those who are highly dissatisfied. So if they are very happy or highly dissatisfied, then in that condition it means that it will not be an even distribution, that the true representation of the population is something which is missing, because we will get skewed information either of those people who are very happy, all of those, or of those people who are highly dissatisfied, and these are two extremes, okay. So that is why these are not the true representative of the population. Now next problem which is there with comment card, second problem is that even if a customer fills it, it is very difficult to find out or to comprehend what does a customer mean. For example, let us take a comment like fair. If you are talking about quality of a product and customer is saying fair, then what is the meaning of fair? So that is something which is very difficult to identify. Now next method which is being used is complaint logs and special request log. Till now we have done these four. Now next is complaint logs and special request logs. Service managers should understand that listening to the complaints and suggestions is which is also known as a kind of service. So their service is not to deliver the service, their service is also to listen to the complaints and suggestions, okay. Now which they can deliver. Now management should encourage their employees to carry a small pocket diary. And they should carry a small pocket diary with them, so that as and when they listen any complaint or suggestion, any comment from any of their customer, they should immediately note them down, okay. Now this will make the complaint log and special request log method even more efficient, because not everybody is going to put up their complaint and their special request. There may be few people who may not be speaking in front of you, so but in general they are speaking. So when they are speaking, when they are discussing, if managers while roaming around actually make a note in their diary whatever special comments they have got to know, or maybe any kind of feedback which they have got to know, then this method will become very efficient. Otherwise this method is maybe widely used, but one such method which is not very efficient, because it is not the true representation of the entire population, okay. The management here needs to understand that it will get the behavior which it will reward. So if the management is rewarding a true good service delivery behavior in the employees, then in that condition this behavior will be encouraged and their employee will be more service oriented. If whether you are service oriented or you are not, it is going to be like the same thing, then this will somewhere demotivate those people who are service oriented, fine. So they should understand that if they want a good behavior, then they need to praise that behavior and motivate that kind of behavior, okay. So employees soon learn that whether their manager want to hear the customer suggestion or not. So an important key here is that the organization must use their feedback as an opportunity to add value to the customer's experience. So whatever it is coming from these complaint box, special request box, or from this pocket diary, it should add value to the product. And if employees see that just whatever they have written in their diary, if maybe one point from that diary has been implemented by management and that has added value to the customer delivery, then they are motivated to perform that kind of a behavior in the future also. Now next is focus group. This method is followed with three primary intentions, okay. Three main reasons because of which it has been done. Now first one is to make a comprehensive list of service quality attributes which are significant from the customer's perspective. So in what happens in this focus group, some customers will be asked to sit and discuss, and whatever let's say they are preparing a list of important attributes, then during discussion if any customer say that this is very important for me, I find it good, I was highly satisfied, I was not expecting this. So somebody may say I was expecting this much but I didn't get it in the product. So that's how the companies get to know that what are those attributes which are important for the customers. Now, second point for which this focus group has been done is sometimes they are also conducted to conclude on some ideas, topics and questions which should be asked and implemented by the company in its future activities. So what happens that sometimes there are being done to collect further information also, or some survey already done in the past. So maybe companies trying to come up with some advertisement, the company might be trying to come up with a new product, the company might be come up with a new kind of product, or maybe whatever company is planning to do, it might conduct a focus group, and the focus group people are during discussion going to speak about it, and this will give a good idea to company whether to go ahead with it or not, or if it needs to go ahead with certain amendments and changes in that. Okay, and beside this, sometimes they might have done, I gave you example in comment card. So in comment card I told you, like, somebody has written fair. So what is the meaning of this fair? The product is fairly good, or are you happy? Yeah, fairly happy. What does this mean? It's a very dicey, statement. Somebody may say fairly happy. Somebody will say, yeah, fairly happy. So both the means, these are two different emotions. So focus group sometimes, throw a light on that. Like, what are these words which may be used in more than one manner mean when actually customers speak them. Okay. Now, third reason because of which focus group are being conducted are, they are good for, pre-testing during the product development or media messages development or proposed new names or logos or maybe menu designing, etc. So these are the three reasons because of which actually customer go ahead with focus group. Now next we will study about customer value workshop. Customer value workshops are also called CVW, little complicated while operating, and you need a very learned and informed customer to organize these kind of activities. Okay, so this is a more rigorous exercise than the focus group. It gives a more comprehensive result too, but this needs more customers, not like 7 to 8, it requires maybe 15 to 20 customers and more knowledgeable customers also. Okay, so customers are asked to note down their more irritating and disappointing points in service delivery, and then they are asked to imagine, that is where they have a vision and to think about a process which is ideal for them to bypass or avoid that kind of a situations. So this process is more about creative than being logical, because customer might not be having such a good idea about the limitations of being in this industry or limitations of this company, or maybe a critical scenario under which that kind of a problem that customer has incurred. So that way customer value workshop can be operated in conjunction to other methods of collecting feedback, but in isolation not something which is advisable, because it is expensive, it requires expertise, it requires more customers, it requires better informed customers, and still it is not very sure that the output of this workshop will be logical. It will be more on creativity side. Okay, now the last one is survey method. Now, survey method is the most commonly used methodology, and though it has a lot of flaws, but still it is the most commonly used. And I have already in my previous lecture informed you about ServQual. ServQual service quality. It was developed by Parsuraman, Zeithaml and Berry in 1988, and this battery was actually a survey battery. Okay. So the data reported is in aggregate. The data which is collected is reported in aggregate and lump sum form. Okay, not individual or with the very specific kind of information. So it has a limited value, because when we talk about customization is not possible by using a survey method. Because it is giving your data in lump sum. So let's say there are 500 customers who may be very average kind of a customer, giving you very average profit, and there are 10 customers who are high-end customers, and they might be having a capacity to give you a very high profit. But when you take a lump sum of that, all of them will be getting the equal weightage. So it will not be 10 and 500 separately, it will be out of 510. So that way survey method is not good for customization. Now, it does not adequately probe into the customer's mindset also, because in survey method, the tool which is being used is generally a questionnaire. It may be semi-structured or structured, but finally it is a questionnaire. So whatever has been written in that question, in that questionnaire, the probing does not go beyond that. So what if there is something in the mind of a customer which is, significant enough, but is not there in the questionnaire? So that way, survey method is not a very good method. And this point which I have just now explained to you, that is usually in case of customization, and customization is one such method which gives you a higher satisfaction from the tourist, as well as higher profitability also. So survey is good for mass type of products, but not customized class products. Okay. So, if you are looking for more demand for customization and other method, then it should be avoided. No? Okay, but for mass method, it's fine, but for class, no, it is not. So, with this, I am ending my lecture here, and at the last of it, I have given you a list of books which you can refer to for getting further information, or you can refer to any other book of your choice. Thank you.